GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
Experience the next level of imaging with Vivo X100 series. Pre-book now.
Hello, Prasanth. Welcome to Galatta Plus. Very good to have you, and congratulations on your super blockbuster.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good to have you here, especially since you've given this very big hit, HanuMan.
Sir.
HanuMan. And it's not only a blockbuster, your first blockbuster, it is also a very huge return on investment blockbuster.
Yes, sir.
In the sense that usually the big hero films that make a lot of money, they also cost a lot of money. So the return is not that much.
Right.
But in this, even that is there. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I have to ask you one thing. How, because I've seen Awe, right? And I slotted you as a particular kind of filmmaker. You have these 6 interlocking stories, and you're one of them involves a same-sex relationship, and then there's all these quirky little things that interlock and all that. It seems like a very new age, whatever you want to call it, right? And at that time, I remember writing in my review like you guys are trying to destroy the traditional mold of Telugu cinema. And then you make this movie, which is a very, very commercial Telugu film, and in a good way.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that there was this Prasanth inside that Prasanth. It's like how did that happen? Like,
Sir, firstly, I think I feel very honored to be sitting with you and talking with you.
it's my pleasure.
I'm a huge fan, and your book Conversations with Maniratnam has really changed my life. Reading that book has given me a new perspective about cinema and about being a director. And coming back to the question, I enjoy all kinds of cinema, sir. While I was growing up, I grew up watching films like K. Vishwanath sir's film. At the same time, I used to love Ram Gopal Varma sir's horror films as well. So I was trying to figure out what my genre is.
What your voice is.
What kind of cinema that I want to make. Or if you look at it, it'll have all genres. I was experimenting with all genres in my first film to figure out which genre excites me the most. Then again, the same thing. It's there in your question that you slotted me in one particular genre. That's always a conscious effort from my side that I should never get slotted.
Yeah.
I should never get typecasted that this guy is good at making this kind of cinema. So I always wanted to experiment and do different kinds of cinema. First of all, it gives me an opportunity to explore a whole new world, a whole new physics of cinema. In fact, while I was shooting for HanuMan actually, I was actually shooting for something else. I was shooting 2 films at the same time.
Right.
So that film is not announced yet. I will announce it in the next couple of weeks. And this is a totally different cinema again. It is again something like Awe. So I enjoy filmmaking process so much that I want to explore all kinds of styles of cinema, genres, and everything. So yeah.
No, but it's amazing because one of the things that's really special when I watched HanuMan
Sir.
is that, see, Bahubali is an entirely mythical kind of
Sure.
universe. If you watch a Marvel, it is a totally like superhero, sci-fi, that kind of zone, right? So, but here you have myth and Marvel.
Yeah.
You have like drones and like a superhero suit and all that. At the same time, you have this wonderful tradition of making avaka pickle and this old style comedy of a guy making who has strange hair and a bird is always trying to make a nest in it and kind of thing, which is the kind of comedy that everybody, that it's a broad kind of comedy, right?
Correct.
So these 2 flavors typically you don't see together.
Right.
How did you think of mashing them, doing a mashup?
Like I said, sir, when I was trying to figure out what my favorite genre is, over the time I've realized these 2 genres are I am really getting excited watching either a sci-fi film or a fantasy film. So these are the things that I'm immediately clicking when I'm watching Netflix or something. So I've realized, okay, so every filmmaker has his strong forte. So I should find my voice, I should find my kind of cinema, and I've realized mixing these 2 things are exciting me. Even if you look at Zombie Reddy, my previous film.
Right.
So Zombie and Reddy are like totally different things, and it worked wonders.
Yeah.
One for the audience, it's
And with the same hero.
with the same hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one for the audience, it helps me to bring audience to theater because it's a new genre. But once they are already inside the theater, I wanted to tell the story in a template that they already know,
Right.
that they're already comfortable with. Mixing these two genres is a very conscious decision, and I think that is the cinema that really excites me.
Right.
Yeah.
So what made you say, I'm going to make the villain the Marvel sci-fi kind of guy, and I'm going to make the hero the desi
Right.
mythical kind of guy?
Right.
What made you say this is the difference I'm going to make?
For this film, it happened like that, but for the future films in the universe, it will be something else. I really like the term sentence saying thank God for science. So it's like, I believe in God, at the same time I believe in science. So there was many drafts that we were working on. So there was not like one bound script that we shot this film with. So the initial script that I started shooting the film with, you can make an entirely new film now. I can give you that script and you can, it's a totally different film. When I started making this one, it's a totally different film. So it is about two characters, one who is worthy of becoming a superhero. So the villain, I didn't want to keep him as a villain. I wanted him to be worthy of getting these powers. Someone who has been working all his life to become a superhero, but not able to get this power. And there is this thief who is good for nothing, who doesn't even care about his village, who doesn't care about anyone.
And who has no power.
Who has no power.
Can't even open a dabba.
Yeah. And he's getting the power instead of this guy.
Yeah.
So who is the more worthy guy? So we actually composed a theme for the film that we never used, which goes in this way where, who is the real superhero?
Right.
Yeah. So the writing was, writing evolved, over the
That would have been
last 3 years.
probably a little more complex film, right?
Yeah, definitely yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. The structure would have been totally different.
Yeah.
But later we adapted into a structure that is more comfortable for Telugu audience.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think across India as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, there is a, you have that, we have always had this hero versus villain
Yes, sir.
template. It's just that.
Good
and
versus evil.
Now over time, we've also gotten used to,
Yes, sir.
Marvel and all these kinds of things. So actually speaking, I think the surprise of the movie was everything fit.
Yeah.
That this Marvel thing and this myth thing typically should not fit, but I'm seeing this
Synergy in between.
it doesn't seem to be odd at all.
Correct.
Seeing this one,
Yeah.
What made you say that I'm going to make this villain a very robotic universe, all plastic, hard shell kind of a thing, and the hero is going to be a product of nature and full of birds and trees and this and that.
Yeah.
What mean?
I didn't think much about that. To be frank, that's how I was imagining it. I wanted to show this contrast between two worlds. Even if you look at lighting and everything.
Yeah, one is red neon and
Yeah, it's always like this. So even if you look at the music also, this portion, Anjanadri portion, will be more tribal, natural, and all that. The sounds and all. This will be very, tech, rock and that kind of a Western kind of a music.
Right.
But then when they fight with each other, you will see a fusion of these two worlds.
Right.
So it was a very conscious decision, right from production design, the way they speak, everything.
What do you mean by the way they speak?
Even the accent.
Oh, right.
Yeah, even the accent. Michael sounds more posh in everything. This guy speaks more very local Telugu. Telugu as in like for Telugu language, but local accent.
Right.
Yeah.
So you spoke about the Prasanth Varma cinematic universe,
Yes, sir.
and I hadn't been following this. So for me, when the movie started and it said PVCU, I was like, oh my god. So So this is a plan you've been having for a while.
For like last 3 years, yes.
Okay, I haven't been up on that. So
Yeah.
just explain that to me a little, because like what is this? This is the first film of the universe.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right.
sir.
So what is that universe like?
So this universe will have superheroes inspired by itihasas of Akhanda Bharat.
Okay.
Yeah. So the idea is in Hollywood, whenever they have to show India, so they always show the slums, they always show the poor side of the country. But if you take away all the invasions that India had gone through, we had such a great histories culturally and even intellectually. We were very advanced than many other countries, and we had Takshashila Vishwavidyalayam, Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya, and all that. So all these things, most of our current generation doesn't even have an idea about. So they will be so obsessed with this Western culture, and they think imitating that Western culture is the coolest thing.
Right.
So, but if we can show how great India was, and still there is a lot of Western people who are trying to embrace Indian culture. But we, the current, not we as in like the current generation is more trying to imitate the Western culture. So I thought if through cinema, if I can bring out the greatness of the greatness of Indian heritage through this universe, it will be great. Like people will be more curious about knowing more about Hanumanji, Sri Ram, and Parshuram and Indra. So the idea is to create new IP with the existing IP that was there forever. Like
Right.
so there are like numerous stories that were there in our itihasas, and we have a female-centric superhero film that is coming after Adhira, and then we have our most proudest superhero film coming in the fourth
Wait, how many are
installment.
there? Like,
we have 12, sir.
You have 12.
12
You've already planned the 12.
We have all the 12 superhero stories, everything sorted. We have a team of writers that I've been, employing, and like paying them salaries, like giving them credit.
Nice.
Even if you look at this film, everyone will be credited.
Yeah.
So my sister heads that whole department, my own sister. So I come up with ideas for the characters and story ideas and all that, and they develop them into full-fledged scripts. So we have storyboard artists simultaneously working on getting these scenes into shots and all that. So we have AI prompt engineers who are helping us build the worlds that are needed for this universe. So there is a lot going. So HanuMan was the film that we were hoping that it will do well, so that we can realize this whole big dream that we all have.
How wonderful, and it's done well. This
Yes,
is
sir.
amazing.
Yes, sir. Now, we thought we will immediately start one film after HanuMan, but now that the film has become such a huge hit, I think we will start 3 at the same time.
Yeah, I heard that, you couldn't get tickets for a week or something like
Yes,
that.
sir. Even today it is housefuls.
Right.
It is amazing. Like, the distributors are saying something like this has never happened before. Because there are some amazing films. There are definitely better films than HanuMan that were released in Telugu cinema before. But people had watched those films twice or maximum thrice. But HanuMan, they're watching 7 times, 8 times, 12 times. So when a guy is going to watch the film, he's like all these tweets I'm getting. So he said, I went to watch the film. The immediate interval mein I've decided I have to make my mom watch this film.
Okay.
So I immediately booked the tickets for the next show where I can take my mom to this film. So, and then parents are going to the film and they're like, I think my kid has to watch this film so that he will know a little bit of Hanumanji. So people are watching it multiple times, and also it has become a cult phenomena watching this film.
Right.
If you have, I'll show you some videos in theater. People are coming back again and again and again to celebrate few scenes in the film.
Right.
So forget about the story and all that. They are saying as soon as they are getting ready for those scenes, and they are whistling, clapping, chanting Jai Shri Ram and all that, and then going into a trance during the climax. I think this is what films are made for, right? The theatrical experience.
Right. And I was especially, I thought that was very impressive that you at first we think it's just the hero doing some things,
Right.
but then you through graphics you show that it's like Hanuman sitting on a stage,
Yeah.
or like you
Yes.
show the what the equivalent is,
yes.
and it's that power that's kind of
Correct.
he's doing the things that
Correct.
that Hanuman once did, but
Correct.
now in the present day.
Correct.
I thought that was very inventive, because it was like a very like I said, the whole thing was very different.
Yes.
Like something that I haven't seen before. This mashup kind of a
Mashup.
thing.
Commercial cinema, but at the same time, I mean, actually a different kind of
commercial
cinema.
is fine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we all see commercial films, but I've seen, like for instance, Bahubali is entirely in that
Correct.
mythical, mythological, historical mode.
Right.
It's not like, but here you're having this
Yeah.
this sci-fi drones,
Yeah.
computer, something, something, and then you're having one gem that's,
Right.
or rather a money that's made
Correct.
of, and he's calling it Money Babu, which I find very cute. It's like almost like a friend.
Yes.
So, but tell me one thing, in the present climate, right?
Yeah.
When you were doing this, see, now it's been accepted, so it's fine, right?
Yes, sir.
But making films about gods and things like that is always a little like a slightly dangerous thing, because you don't know how some organization or somebody might object to it, right?
Right.
So was there any fear when you were creating this universe that we should do it in such a way that because I'm just saying, somebody could just say, how dare you treat Hanuman in such a playful manner, or something like that. And I'm not saying,
I got
I'm
it.
just saying
I got
something
what you're
to
saying.
say that.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that playing on your mind?
We were never afraid, sir, but we were responsible.
Right.
If I'm sure you are aware of the number of films that Telugu cinema has made on the concept of gods.
Yeah.
The senior Indian
yeah,
films and all that. So we grew up watching them.
In fact, when we think of God as in a film thing,
Yeah.
it's NTR,
It
that
NTR,
you don't
yeah,
think of anybody
you
else.
still
Yeah.
get NTR sir's
Yeah.
image when you think of Krishna.
Yeah.
So I think in a lot of households, so NTR sir's picture will be there in Mandir, Puja Mandir as Krishna.
Yeah.
That is the kind of films that we grew up with.
Right.
As filmmakers, I think last couple of years, this whole phenomena of getting hurt by religious sentiments and all are happening. That could be also the ill intention of the filmmaker also. So it goes either ways.
Yeah.
But when these films were made, there were K. Raghavendra Rao Garu's films like Annamaya and films like that.
Right.
So where people Amoru film and all
But
this.
Annamaya is a fairly serious film. Like, it's a straightforward.
But there is God involved.
Yeah.
So the God will come and all that.
Right.
So, but
But it's not an adventure.
No,
that kind of. That's what
no,
I'm
no,
saying.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, in the representation of God
Yeah.
sense, Telugu filmmakers were never shied away from showing gods in their most perfect way. So I think I came up from that background where I never thought I will hurt somebody's feelings
Right.
while representing the god. But if you look at it, Raghavendra Rao sir, whenever we make films on gods, we'll not even eat non-vegetarian. We will follow few things. So that is the kind of respect that we have. Even while we are shooting inside a temple, we never, nobody, we don't have to tell anyone that you have to remove your footwear and go inside the temple and do it.
Yeah.
If I have to be extremely blunt, honest with you, if you look at climax, so hero gets hit by the villain and he flies into a temple.
Yeah.
He will have slippers before the scene and he will have slippers after the temple scene, but he will not wear slippers during temple.
Yeah.
See, if you have to maintain continuity as a filmmaker, but we don't care. More than the continuity, the sentiment is more important here.
Yeah.
So even if we don't consciously try to do something, the respect that we have for the gods, the way we have to be presented, that comes very naturally to us.
Right.
So we were never afraid, but we were very responsible, and we made sure we were checking with senior filmmakers, senior people who know more about our itihasas. So and show them like, is this how Hanumanji will look if he is in current times? So yeah, that groundwork we did for sure.
Right. So what made you imagine this Anjana, that village, that town, small town village,
Anjanadri,
that
yeah.
Anjanadri.
Yes, sir.
Anjana, of course, is the mother of Hanuman. So what made you imagine this the way, like with a giant statue of Hanuman and overlooking this almost like a God blessing that place, you know?
yes.
That was that a visual that your production designer came up with, or was that your imagination, or how did that come up with?
Sir, when we wrote the story, it is a very simple story. When we pitched the story to a few people, people felt it is very small for a superhero film. It's all happening in one small village. So what's the big deal? So I thought, okay, we have to scale this up. We have to present this in a much bigger manner. But I don't want to take this story and put it in a city just because you know it is a superhero film. So it should look grand and all that. And in VFX, even if the statue height is 10 feet or 100 feet or 500 feet, it costs the same. So it's just your imagination that has to be big. So it was a very conscious decision when we started the shooting also, most of the scenes we shot it in a very small studio that we've only built. So we leased out a small land and we named it HanuMan Studios. And we built a small little place, cute little studio where we shot most of the film. And it had no hills or anything in the background. So after shooting a couple of schedules, I looked at the material and then I thought, okay, I think not only that huge Hanuman statue, I don't want to see any sky in the background. So I told my VFX supervisor that, I don't want to see any sky, like wherever you see sky, I want to put, I want you to put mountain in the background.
Yeah.
So that gave the film a kind of a sense of scale. So that was the decision to make the film look bigger than what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So in any superhero film, apart from the super villain, and of course you have two villains in this film, one local villain and then there's the outside villain or whatever.
Right, sir.
But for example, if you take Superman, his weakness is kryptonite.
Correct.
So like he can do all those things, fly around, do this, X-ray vision, this, that, everything. But the minute he's near kryptonite, his powers fail.
Correct.
That is a very difficult thing to figure out for every film, because what is the one thing that will make this superhero temporarily not a superhero, right?
Correct.
And I thought that was a genius stroke in this film, which was the day and night thing.
Yeah.
This is a spoiler-filled interview. It's called Lights Camera. So don't worry about it. It's it's going to be a spoiler thing. So it's
not at all, sir. Not at all, sir. It's totally fine. I wanted to make a film where I tell the entire story in the interview, but still be entertaining.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, but because the story is I don't think this is about the story as such.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's more than
presentation.
That. It's the presentation.
Yeah.
So when so that idea is so simple and yet so effective, because it's like the day-night thing that Did you base that on some itihas or history or something like that? Because what is the connection?
Sir, when Hanumanji, when he was a kid, he goes to eat sun.
Thinking it's a fruit or something.
Thinking it's a mango.
Yeah.
And he gets hit by Indra's Vajrayudh. And that's when sun god comes, and he tells him, he's the one who wakes him up. Says it's all fine. Surya Bhagwan offers Hanumanji that I will be your guru.
Right.
I will teach you all the skills and all that. So I always wanted sun god. Sun has to be a major. If you look at the film, there are many sun shots.
Yeah.
So there are multiple shots.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted sun to be a source of the power. So I kind of came up with this idea where hero should have powers only when there is sun, and in the night he should not have powers.
Right.
At the same time, he needs that money and also sun to get the powers, like to energize. Yeah. That was the physics.
Your invention.
Yes,
your
sir.
team's invention.
Absolutely, yes.
Right.
And people were asking me when I was making the film only, can you write, you will make Hanuman 2, no, Hanuman 2. I was like, no, I don't think I can make Hanuman 2 because, by the end of the film,
Yeah,
the
when
blood
he's-
drop
yeah.
goes into hero and he's become all super powerful.
Yeah.
So there's no weakness only. How can you write a film where the hero doesn't have a weakness?
But you can use him as a crossover for your future, he can make an appearance in your personal film or something like that.
So that is definitely happening.
Yeah.
But as an independent story, so I told them it is impossible to write Hanuman 2.
Right.
Because he is all super powerful. So then, one big star has pushed me to write Hanuman 2. And I cracked that idea where, I can still make hero very, very likable and sympathetic, though he has the powers of Hanuman.
Yeah.
So
So that's also happening.
that's happening.
And that's part of this universe.
Yes.
So the gem in the sea, all that is your invention.
Yes, sir.
So the only the part about Hanuman flying to the sun and getting hit by that, only that is from
Only till there, I've taken it from the Itihasa.
Otherwise, the rest of it is your
The rest of it is my invention.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
So, one thing that I don't know why I kept getting very tense in the movie is like, oh my God, he's going to drop it somewhere. He's going to drop it somewhere. I thought, why doesn't he wear it like a chain or something like that? Because it's like he's carrying it in a pouch.
yeah.
It can just slip anywhere.
Yeah.
I know it's a very silly thing, but
Yeah.
it's the all-powerful thing.
Yeah.
And he's just like so casual with it.
That is his character. He's not very serious about
Yeah.
things. He doesn't even understand the value of it.
Right.
He is that naive.
Yeah. Why did you want to make him a thief?
I wanted to make him lovable, but like I said in the initial draft, I didn't want to make him a super nice, innocent guy. It is boring. So I wanted to give him a layer, I wanted to make him little interesting.
Yeah.
So he steals, but he gives it to kids.
Yeah.
He doesn't really care about the village, but still fights for the heroine.
Yeah.
So it's like that, then the character is a little more interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of the heroine, there is the traditional thing of, oh, I loved you when I was a child, and then now you've grown up and come
Yes,
back and
yeah.
this and that and all that,
Yeah.
right? So did you in any draft have? Of course, she's there to an extent, and she has a lot of guts,
Right.
and she speaks up against the
Absolutely.
polygon that So it's kind of she's the one who kind of speaks up, not the hero.
Correct.
She's the one who speaks up and all that.
Correct.
But despite that, given the fact that there are so many other elements of
Right.
commercial cinema,
Right.
there's no real romance.
Right, correct.
Is that something you had in a draft and said later it's too much, or you just didn't want that at all?
And the romance was never the major portion in the film.
Not major, but
I mean,
yeah.
in none of the drafts we had too much romance. So it was always very subtle, and it is exactly how much it is needed for the film.
Right.
Yeah. So, but she had more character in the previous drafts, and I think this Vibhishan's role came little later.
Yeah.
Initially it wasn't there. So
Oh, it wasn't there at all?
it wasn't there at all.
Okay.
So it came little later, where we felt that the story is going in a direction, but there was no hooks.
Yeah.
There was not enough hook for the audience to. If you look at the first half without taking Vibhishan out, it will be all just fun film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of comedy going. Yeah, he anchors the
Yeah.
audience, and so when we came up with that idea to include, we always wanted Vibhishan to come in the sequels,
Right.
but we never thought we'll bring him here. So we thought we'll introduce him later.
Right.
But when we realized that we need him here, so from there, in pre-climax, that sequence where Vibhishan tells about how Hanuman ji was like that, and he inspires hero to go and fight.
Right.
Initially, heroine was supposed to do that. So she is the one who is supposed to inspire him to go and fight against.
Right.
So she's there in the scene, but when Vibhishan's character has come, so that character took over that particular scene.
Right.
Yeah.
Now there are some beautiful visuals in the film.
So-
there is one early one I'll mention that when he gets the superpower, see we are very used to the one guy bashes up like a bunch of villains and they go flying up in
Yeah.
the air, right? That's a cliche.
Right.
But here you kind of like amp up that cliche and break it by having them rise up in front of that Hanuman statue,
right.
that looks so beautiful. You know, like all those things, because usually stunt is the domain of the action director.
Correct.
How did everything come to be so organic in terms of this? Were they also in on the script from
Yeah.
the beginning?
I'm less of a dialogue guy and more of a visual guy. So most of the times we don't even have dialogues when we are shooting the film, shooting the scene. I only have shots. Like, there is a lot of shots that I write, and there's a lot of storyboarding that I do. Dialogues last minute.
When you mean shots, what do you mean? Like
if you say this particular shot,
Okay, the images.
The images.
Yeah.
Images are the first thing that comes to my mind. Those are the things that I write. I don't write dialogue most of the times, except one or two dialogues. Like, there's this dialogue where the sister character tells Hanuman ji was also very powerful, but he became a god only when he started helping.
Yeah.
So that dialogue I wrote. So except one or two dialogues like that, most of the dialogues are pretty functional. But made action choreography or made shot division and all that, we work a lot on it. The storyboard artist will also choreograph the action. So we do a lot of prep for the action. That's the reason if you look at most of the shots, they look very designed.
Right.
So if you look at the action choreographers, they are actually not big names.
Yeah, but I like the fact that
Yeah.
it wasn't that cliche of beating up one. Even so I like the fact that you had wrestlers.
Yeah.
So that looked a little different.
Right.
So everything looked.
It was designed like that.
Yeah.
So we kept calling them Avakaya fight. Everything has a fight. Like coconut fight with the sisters fight.
Yeah.
So we all, even this Jai Shri Ram scene. So everything was designed.
Right. Now, why did you decide? Usually in these films, there's a mother. Right, and but here there's like this powerful sister. Who's doing all these things. What made you say, okay, in this film, I'm not going to go with the mother. I'm going to go with the sister.
So I'm the filmmaker who will not avoid cliches, but just twist the cliche. So I will make sure the cliches are there in the film, but not in the exact cliche that you expect.
Right.
If you look at the sister's character's name, it says Anjamma.
Yeah.
It's actually supposed to be the mother.
Yeah.
But I had instead of mother, I thought let's have a sister, and let's name her Anjamma. So these are the small little things I consciously do to make it look less melodramatic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So in a movie like this, which is, how would you call this? Would you call this an entertainer?
Absolutely, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like a little puzzled about the fact that there is a major death that happens,
right.
and the rituals that follow, and this and that and all that. Why did you feel the need that character had to die?
We had so much discussion in writing room because none of the team members wanted her to die. I was the only one who was pushing that, no, that character has to go, like that is needed for the film. I was reading all my reviews for my previous films, and I was always told that I didn't do emotion right.
Right.
So I was not taking emotion seriously. I was concentrating more on the style of the film.
Right.
So trying to be cool with the screenplay. I was trying to be this cool filmmaker who doesn't understand the emotion right. So that was the feedback that I got. I took it very seriously, and I thought this film I'm getting emotion right. Forget about VFX. Let me not do screenplay gimmicks in this film. Let me keep the story little straightforward, but get the emotion right. So that was a very conscious decision. I used to, when I was working with Varalakshmi Sharat Kumar, who played the sister's role, I kept telling her, she's like, yeah, this take is okay, no? I'm like, no, I want to get this emotion right. Can you cry a little more? Can we do something else? So I think I've shot all these action episodes a little faster, but I took enough time to get the emotion right.
Right.
I really felt that, the sister, the character needs to go, so that audience will have that big drop that they need, so that they can root for the hero to go and fight. If you look at the villain, if you look at Michael, he's not that bad guy. He's not very, very bad guy. He doesn't really want to, he's not like, I will kill the entire world. Uh, I want all the money in the world. He's not that. He actually wants to become a superhero and save a lot of people.
Yeah.
So how can I make audience hate him? So I wanted that character to be not a cliche villain character, but still make audience hate him.
Right.
So few decisions like him killing his parents, so him almost killing his best friend, so him indirectly killing the sister. These things are the things that I need to make audience hate the villain.
Right. So, when, and I think that really works because since we've already spoiled so much, we can talk a little more. I think what really works is that this woman, for me at least, the dramatic line that worked was she has remained single for so long because of this particular reason.
Right.
And just when something is about to happen,
Good happen.
that's when this
Correct.
happens. So there's genuine, like a build up to something that you think there's like something that's going to happen, and then no, but that's not going to happen. Whatever. So now when you talk about, I also, one thing that was intriguing is the villain is almost always shot at night.
Right.
He's all black. That red neon thing keeps happening all the time.
Yeah.
How did that color scheme come about?
I mean, like I said, sir, it was very difficult for me to make audience hate the villain.
Right.
So because he is very good looking.
Right.
The casting, the way we did it, he was very good looking and very intelligent.
Right.
He wants to become a superhero.
Yeah.
So I had to find ways to make audience think
So
that this
is a
guy is
visual
evil.
way of-
Yeah, I wanted to subconsciously make audience think that this guy is evil. He shouldn't get the powers.
So the black kind of
Yeah.
enhance that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Fantasy today has come to mean, like, especially now, for today's generation, Rajmouli and Bahubali are the other, like, where, I mean, because they probably haven't seen Maya Bazaar and all those older things,
Sure.
right? So who are the directors and which are the films that served as an inspiration for this?
Vitalacharya is one great inspiration, sir. I used to be told I love his films. I love the fantasy. I love the in-camera graphics that they used to do.
Jagan Mohini.
Yeah, and Maya Bazaar and films like this, and also Kodram Krishna, sir. Like he's from the same village. Like we came from the same place. So who's done Ammoru and films like that. Right. So I remember going into a trance watching those films. So I think these filmmakers, and Singitam Srinivasa Rao sir is a major inspiration for me for my career. But particularly, I think these two filmmakers, like Vitalacharya sir and Kodram Krishna Garu, are the main inspiration for me to do this kind of cinema.
Right. Any inspiration from abroad?
For this film, no, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things about our heroes is that they can already do all the things that these guys are doing. Right? And you actually reference it in the movie by saying, bring up Balaya's name. That comedian actually tells, the friend actually tells, like, Balaya can do this and all that. So, was it always your plan to cast somebody who did not look like a big hero?
Absolutely, sir.
Right.
Even when I told Teja that, I didn't even tell him the story. I said, I'm doing a superhero film with you. Get ready. So immediately he started going to gym. So he was bulking up and all that. So one day we crossed each other and I asked him, like, where are we going? So he said, I'm going to gym. I'm bulking up because, like you said, a superhero film. I said, like, no, don't do that. You have to be the way you are. And I want audience to think that, this guy cannot even open a dabba.
Right.
So only when he gets the powers, that's when audience gets excited.
Right.
So it was always a conscious decision that to cast a non-star into this film.
Right. Now, when you talk about you're bringing the Ramayana into the modern day in a way.
So,
did you think about, like, let's say, bringing in Rama also, or maybe some other references also from that? Because here there's HanuMan, there's Vibhishana, and that's pretty much it.
Yes, sir.
You didn't want to overpopulate it with
not in the first film,
right.
But in Jai HanuMan, all these things will come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's next year.
Jai HanuMan is the sequel for HanuMan.
I know, but that's next Sankranti.
I don't think we'll be able to finish by Sankranti. I think Adhira is something that we can finish by Sankranti.
Because at the end it said Jai Hanuman 2025.
2025. I
Yeah.
think by the end of 2025 we'll be able to finish that film.
Right. So you have these 12 films. How are you going to do it? Like one a year?
No, I mean like they will all be simultaneously produced. Other directors will direct them, but I will creative produce them.
Okay, you're the mastermind.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll not use the word, but I will facilitate those films to happen. I'll make sure the funds and actors and stories put together. And yeah, I would really want to release one film every Sankranti.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, how does this work? When you have an IP,
Yeah.
do you have to register it, or like, because what is stopping somebody else from taking another mythical character and using another sci-fi?
They can do it. They can definitely do it.
Yeah.
Because it's an open IP, so they can create another character. But I own HanuMan, so they can use HanuMan ji and create another character. But I registered. What do we say? Trademarked HanuMan. So I own HanuMan. I will own Adhira. So these are the characters that I have created.
Right.
Yeah.
So because like Parshurama is a general character, right?
Yeah, I
So
mean,
tomorrow somebody can make
somebody can make.
Okay.
Yeah. If let's say Kalki is happening, Prabhas sir's film. In that, Amitabh Bachchan sir is playing. Rumored to play Ashwathama.
Right.
But I will have my own Ashwathama in my universe.
Right. It's not a clash. It's because of the sensibility.
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
Right. So when a movie like this happens and it is against, like, kind of against all odds become a hit. I'm not saying it
Yeah.
doesn't have the ingredients, but
Yeah.
see, the director is relatively a new guy,
Correct.
the hero and whatever it is. It's one of the nice things that happens is it gives a lot of confidence to others
Absolutely. Absolutely,
to
yeah.
kind of say, I don't need 300 crores to make a fantasy film.
Correct.
Can you reveal the budget of this film?
40 crores.
40 crores. So I can do it with 40 crores. And that is with print and publicity.
No, without
Just the budget.
Just the
alone,
budget of
right.
the film.
So that's like a pretty this one.
Yeah.
But did you feel when you got this budget and when you had this responsibility, I just want to end this interview by asking, how did that responsibility sit on you? Because you've never made a movie on the scale before.
Right,
Because even 40 crores is a big amount for you.
Definitely yes. Yeah.
How do you prepare yourself to become that director?
Sir, I always overshot my films. Like, I have this, now that everybody is saying Prasanth is a filmmaker who makes films in a very less budget and makes it look this big and all that. But I'm very infamous for increasing the budget of the films. So I was joking with my team that look at this guys, everybody's saying I'm the most budget-friendly director. But sir, I speak to when I meet a producer, I tell him upfront that sir, no matter how much I try, the budget is always increasing because I keep coming up with new ideas and all that. I really want to execute them, but I will tell you first. If you think this idea is worth putting more money in, so give me that budget. I'll shoot that scene.
Right.
So if you think, no, my budget is over, I don't want you to put more money than this, I will finish the film with whatever budget that I have. But I'm very, I improvise a lot while shooting, while writing, while editing, while doing dubbing. Me and my team improvises a lot, and we believe in it. Like if you look at Jai Shri Ram scene in the film, it was not there in the film only. Like I wrote it in a very last minute.
Okay.
Yeah. So but it has become a cultural phenomena watching that scene in the theater.
Right.
So whenever I get this new idea that I want to include into the film, but it feels very natural to you. If you look at the film, it doesn't look like it was inserted later.
Right.
So the producer who I fortunately worked with on this film is a visionary guy. Like he pushed me to my limits. Like he said, let's go make it. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. He never in this entire journey he said, Prasanth, you're over budgeting the film. So he is the one who always pushed me to go beyond the budget and make the film the way I want it to be.
But confidence was not a problem.
Never.
That was always there.
I always promised the producer, sir, I will over budget the film, but I will create enough hype for the film where you can sell it. So probably, I'm obsessed with cutting teasers and trailers. So I will make sure I will create a promotional plan for the film that will create enough hype for the film that will create this market.
Right.
But I will not waste the money. So even if the style of the filmmaking is very unorthodox, how different, what will be the difference between the first cut and last cut of the film? Usually, there are a lot of big budget films. People will shoot 3.5 hours, 4 hours, and then cut it down to 2.5 hours, right? So my first cut for the film was 2 hours 45 minutes, and final cut was 2 hours 38 minutes.
Okay.
So I only shot 5 minutes extra. So I don't overshoot and waste the money there, but I shoot until I get the scene right.
Right.
So I will not shoot like, okay, today I have to finish 2 scenes.
So you take many takes?
I take a lot of takes.
Okay.
Yeah. And the actors who I work with, they are also aware of it. And I shoot multiple angles. So some days, if I don't get the scene right that day, I'll shoot it again tomorrow.
Wow, that's taking a lot of time.
So that takes a lot of time. I shot the film for 130 days. But still, I only shot 2 hours 45 minutes of the film.
Right, right.
So it's basically like, I don't believe in like finishing 2 scenes a day or 3 scenes a day is a great achievement for the director.
Yeah.
So you have to get the emotion right. So most of the times when we finish shooting the film, we project it and we take opinions.
Yeah.
So we do test screenings. So I'm not egoistic about it. So I can mess up. So people can point out, even my office boy can tell me that, sir, what nonsense, what kind of a director you are, like how stupid is this scene. So I will go back and fix it and I'll reshoot and I'll get it right.
Right, but thankfully nobody can say that now. Because it's like
They can still say it now.
No, they can still say that, but I doubt this. It's like it's such a colorful comic book like Amrit Katha like
Right.
movie. So it's
Right.
like thing. So anyway, thank you so much and congratulations on this really surprising and big success. Surprising for us maybe because the thing is we didn't know this movie was coming and we didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But congratulations and really look forward to the rest of the installments of the PVCU.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
Experience the next level of imaging with Vivo X100 series. Pre-book now.